We just wrapped up Season 5, and I wanted to personally say thank you to everyone who tunes in each week. In this episode of Coffee with Tea, I gathered up a few of the golden nuggets that I picked up from the great guests that we've had on for this season. So please stick around and enjoy the show. Jennifer Hirschberg-Wise on alignment.
I think once you can shut down a little more of the noise, you can get really honest with yourself.
Kevin Pedri with resiliency in business.
This is just another way to test resilience of organizations, right? Like just to say like, what is going to keep you moving forward, right? Because nothing's ever consistent. So I think it's
Candace Jones with Don't Settle.
But that intuition, go with it. Don't hide from it. Don't fight it. Go with it. Follow it head on, because it's either going to lead you in the right direction or lead you to the path to your right direction.
Aaron David Spiegel on self-acceptance.
Acceptance, but I think that's the most empowering thing that you can have is self-acceptance, self-realization. That's the most empowering thing that you can have ultimately. Because
Michael Marr shared adding value.
When you're in a service business, you aren't initially adding value. You are uncovering value in someone's brand. So
Greg Goshorn talked about royalty-free music.
Even you got to make sure it's absolutely free, royalty-free for commercial purposes if you're using it in your business. Sometimes there'll be royalty-free music that when you read the fine print, and royalty-free images when you read the fine print, you're supposed to give credit for. So if you
Crystal Webster talked about grieving.
I had to grieve the death of my daughter. I had to grieve the death of what I thought my future looked like. You know, all of those things, not just a death. That's the easy answer. You grieve so much more than that when you lose someone or something that powerful.
Right.
Reshma Bhajwani talked about an emergency fund.
So I wrote the book so that everybody is prepared for any crisis and have their emergency fund in place, because that's a lifesaver. And as
Emily McNamara talked about coping with change.
I get overwhelmed with change. But again, in getting quiet and realizing, okay, I have control over this situation to some extent, and I can choose what I take part in and how I react to this situation and make the most of it. So
Tanda Mingus talked about soul ties.
A soul tie, basically, Tanya, is when you connect with someone, and if it goes into a sexual connection, then sometimes, and it's usually the woman who ends up getting hurt, especially if the man breaks it off. And the soul tie usually cannot be broken easily.
Natalie Reeder said, stop apologizing.
Well, that's okay.
Right.
But stick who I love to be and be okay with that and not have to apologize that I'm not something someone expects.
Willow Drake talked about vulnerability and faith.
Same thing when you talk about spirituality and God and whatever your spiritual path is, it takes that vulnerability and that real faith to experience the love that God and the universe has for you.
Thank you for listening. Hi everyone, this is Tanya again, popping in to say thank you for listening to today's show. Coffee with Tea interviews are always free, and if you're enjoying the wisdom and the insights that are being shared, please stay and grow with us and show your financial support. You can buy us coffee or become a monthly supporter. Links are posted in the description box. And again, I wanted to personally say thank you for tuning in.